Hey, what's up? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going over the top cognitive biases of sales. And this is really important because sales has a direct correlation with marketing. Because when you really think about it, when it comes to marketing, you're really trying to sell yourself. You're trying to get someone else to buy in emotionally into your brand and eventually even buy from your brand. So sales is incredibly important, knowing how sales work, and I love sales really as much as I love marketing. I love reading books about sales. Some of my favorites are Pitch Anything, Persuasion. There's just a bunch of books that I like that are about sales. So I'm going to get into it. I'm going to talk about some of the top cognitive biases when it comes to sales. It's really important for you to understand these, so when you're marketing, you have these in mind. And again, we'll go a lot deeper into this. There's a bunch of cognitive biases, but I just want to give you the top ones right now. So with that said, let's get straight into it. The first rule when it comes to tics that the human brain has as far as sales are concerned is reciprocation. Now, what reciprocation is the rule that if I give you something, you are a lot more likely to give me something in return, and even something that is of higher value. So let me give you an example. I'm always a huge believer in giving your most loyal customers a bunch of value, free product on their birthdays, free coupons, free deals, and it's really a universal rule. Think about ads, Facebook ads. You have to give value in order to get someone to opt in. So reciprocation is incredibly important, something you always have to keep in mind. You have to give value to get value. So when you're marketing, you have to really think, you have to give a ton of value in order to get a ton of value back. So sometimes maybe if you're doing a giveaway, it has to be a very high ticket product, or if you're giving your most loyal customers some free product, you have to understand that, when you do that sort of thing, you are getting a lot of the time lifelong customers in return. So it's incredibly important to keep reciprocation in mind. The second rule that we have here is social proof. Now, social proof is the rule that if people see their peers, that their peers doing something, they'll be a lot more likely to do it themselves. So this is where testimonials come in. You want to collect testimonials to put in your brand story, testimonials to put on your social media, because when people see their peers vouch for something, you instantly get credibility, you get authority, and then the customer themselves seeing their peers vouch for something, they'll be a lot more likely to buy. There was actually a crazy study, I believe this was in the book Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, that they did a social experiment, right, where there was someone laying on the street just asking for help on a busy street, like they were acting like they were in agonizing pain, asking for help, but people weren't stopping. They'd look, but they wouldn't stop. But when in the second study, that person who was same kind of act, agonizing pain, asking for help, but instead of just asking for help, they pointed at one person in particular, said, "I need your help, help me." And that person came right away. Now, why is that? It's because people are very risk averse. So when they were just asking for help, obviously there's some people who, they'll go help just because they want to help someone who's in need. But when they see someone yelling and then they look around and no one else is going, so they think something must be wrong. If no one else is going, I shouldn't go. And it creates a domino effect. Everyone's thinking like that, right? But when you get specifically pointed out, that's when the person went. So again, that comes with call to actions. You need to tell people what to do, but also social proof. That's the main point, is social proof. If people see others, because if someone said help and one person came to help, then more would come to help. There would be more people going in. You have to get those testimonials. You have to have people vouching on your behalf, and that will create a domino effect. Incredibly important rule. The next rule is commitment consistency. This is where opt-ins come in. So you need to have email opt-ins. You need to have stuff like that. You need to have entry products, because once a person buys into a low ticket item or even just opts into your email list, they instantly are a lot more likely to buy because they've already committed to being invested into your brand. There was another test on this, I believe, in the same book, Social Experiment, where I don't remember it verbatim, but basically what it was someone went around a neighborhood, right, and they asked to put a sign on that person's lawn. And I believe the sign had to do with something like something about helping keep the streets clean or something like that, right? So there was people who agreed, yeah, put the sign out. It's just a sign. Why not? It helps our neighborhood. So then they got that sign, right? 2 weeks, and then they went to a neighborhood where they didn't ask any signs, but they just tried to get donations to keep the street clean. Now, the street where they went, where they did not do the first part, they didn't put any signs, and they tried to get donations, the conversion rate was really low, right? But they went back to the street where they did put the signs, and they went to the people who agreed to put the signs in their lawn, and they asked for donations, and the conversion rate was a lot higher. And then they did the same experiment, and then instead of just asking for donations to keep the sign clean, it was like a completely different cause. It was like barely similar. It was like to help struggling children or something, and the conversion rate was still higher because they were already in the mindset of, oh, I'm helping the environment, I'm helping other people. The conversion rate was still a lot higher than the street where they did not do the first part. They didn't put any signs. So that is just a sign of how important commitment consistency is, how important buy-ins are, how important entry-level products are. You need to have these things. The fourth rule is liking. Now, this is pretty obvious. You might think all of these are common sense, but the fact of the matter is you're probably not thinking of them when you're putting together your marketing strategy. So it's incredibly important to consistently be thinking about this, and consistently being reminded about these things. So liking. You are much more likely to buy from someone you like. Think about when last time you bought, I don't know, a car, or just a product in general. If you come across a sales representative who's kind of standoffish, that you feel like they don't really care, you don't really want to buy from them. But if you come around someone who is on their stuff, they know what they're talking about, they're friendly, they want to help you, they're trying to, they're doing that thing where they want to talk to the manager, get you the best deal, they're saying, hey, it's usually this, but let me talk, let me get you something, and you like them, well, you want to buy from them. You want them to get the commission from the sale. Now, that's obvious, but the fact of the matter is a lot of people don't follow this. You just always have to be on top of it. You have to put your personality in there. You have to be good to your customers. Again, that goes with, treating your best customers like royalty. You need to do these things. But the other thing is, there's actually studies where people like others who are similar to them, who have relatable traits. So I'm going to give you some examples. If you're talking to someone that you're trying to sell to, and then that person's like, oh, my name is Janet, and then you were to say, oh, my grandmother's name was Janet, and she was a great lady. It's like a point system. Instantly, the liking points, it goes a little bit up. The more you relate people, that's why there's that mirroring tactic. You see this a lot in old school sales, where people try to mirror their customers to, like, everything from the position they're sitting in, if they had their legs crossed, they'd cross their legs, to the way they talk, the tone. That's real old school stuff. So, and it worked. It worked. So liking is an incredibly important thing. So you always want to be good to your customers. So yeah. The fifth rule is scarcity. So urgency, scarcity, same sort of thing. But this is the rule that when people think that there is a limited amount of something, they are a lot more likely to buy. So this comes with countdown clocks for your offers, a limited time offer, 50% off if you buy right now. This is, again, this should be on your landing pages. You have to have scarcity. You don't want to overdo it with scarcity, but you do want to have scarcity, because when there's urgency, people they need to be enticed to take action. They won't take action if the deal's there forever, but when it's scarce, when something is scarce, people are a lot more likely to take action right then and there. So again, scarcity, a great rule. Authority. So this is an interesting one as well. Obviously, people are a lot more likely to listen to someone who has authority. But let me give you an example of this. So you could have, let's be extreme. The president, okay, or maybe not. There's some a president of a country, right? You could have a president of a country. So a president of the country, that figure has authority, right? They have power, authority, connections. But if that president and his wife are going to a driving range, and they're not necessarily that great at golf or driving the golf ball, right? But you have someone at the driving range, let's say making minimum wage, but is an expert on how to drive the ball, and they're teaching the president of said country and his wife how to drive the ball, showing them the right form, showing them how they should line up, how they should use the hips and everything like that. Who's the authority in that point in time on the driving range? Who's the authority? It's not the president, because they're not the expert in this situation. It's the golf instructor making minimum wage. So this is incredibly important. You have to understand, if you are an expert in your niche and you're talking to your potential customer, your potential follower, you have to show that you're an expert, know your stuff, bring up references, talk about books, you have to talk about all that, because in that given moment in your environment, you are the authority. And when you are the authority and you give them a call to action, they are a lot more likely to buy in emotionally or financially. So again, these rules, I really do love sales. And it really does have a direct correlation with marketing, as I gave examples for pretty much all of these. But these are the top cognitive biases. Really nail these in, because really when you're creating a marketing strategy, you should be thinking about all of these, because again, sales and marketing, they go hand in hand. And I'm going to make further videos, because there are a lot of cognitive biases. I just picked what I think are the top ones, but I'll make further videos where we talk about the rest of them. But again, memorize them, nail them down, use them. Incredibly important. And I will see you in the next video.